We on?
Yes, we are.
We're on there. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the council meeting of Wednesday, March 22nd, 2033. We have an abbreviated agenda for items this evening, so it should not be a long meeting. But please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Knoll?
Here.
Ms. Zajac?
Here.
Ms. Weltman?
Here.
Mr. Daga? Mr. Lemay? Mr. Gentili?
Here.
Dr. Wong? Here.
Okay. Before we get to the committees and department heads, there's a note of passing that I want to note and observe at this public meeting. Mayor Dan Fritz, as I assume all of you are aware, has died. And Dan was I noticed passing, with a great amount of personal sorrow. Dan was an outstanding servant to the public. He spent his adult life as a paramedic and firefighter. He was a councilman for 12 years in Moreland Hills. He's been the mayor for the past 4 years. Dan was just a lovely man. And I've known his family for 45 years. And I just wish them, comfort in just a horrible time that they're going through. And we're now going to take just a moment to reflect on and think about the loss of Dan Fritz. Thank you. And while we were doing that, I hope everyone thought for a moment about their own families and people they love and how quickly it can all go away. We are but a fleeting glimpse between two eternities. And it's something we should never lose sight of. So when you go home tonight, hug anyone you love and hold them close. The funeral services for Mayor Fritz is this Saturday at 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. The details are published online. And I think there's a memorial service for him at 2 o'clock following some sort of an informal get-together in the period before. We will move on now to our committees and department heads. The Finance Committee, for lack of a quorum, did not meet this evening, so we have no Finance Committee meeting notes to deliver to you. The financials were, of course, prepared carefully by Mr. Brzezinski and have been distributed to council prior to this meeting. If any of you have any questions or thoughts regarding any of those, please feel free to contact Mr. Brzezinski following this meeting, and he'll be happy to respond to whatever inquiries you might have about them. I do want to congratulate and thank Joe Joe's worked very, very hard over the last several months to assemble a new reporting that it still takes a lot of hand work. It's not a natural result of the data generated by our financial reporting system. But I believe that it is even more accurate and reflective of the overall picture of our city's finances than it was before, because it draws from the various fund balances in its creation. So if you also have any questions regarding the organization or the background as to what's summarized in that report, again, I refer you to Mr. Brzezinski, and he can provide the information. Did we? No, we have not met. I don't think any other committees have met since then. Any other department heads have anything to report? Don, why don't you just give us council an update regarding Shaker Boulevard?
They continue making progress. They're putting in a large wet well kind of at the corner of Pepper Creek and Shaker, which is a very deep excavation, modification to that pump station over there. And they also are working on some other miscellaneous items. And we do have some progress since last week with Verizon and AT&T, and trying to keep them moving on this transferring of utilities from one pole to the other.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have just one quick question for Don.
Yes, sir.
Don, we've had, since the sewers have been going in, a lot of people are paying more attention to them now. And there have been some people who want to know what the next step is. Can you give us just a brief summary of that? Oh, I'm sorry. The next step
Next step towards.
for where the sewers are going once we complete this.
Oh, once we complete this, well, the next piece that we've gotten funding for is for the Forest and Edgewood, and then the Concord, Plymouth, Providence, Chatham, Brewster area. So we have funding for that piece. We are in the plan development process in that piece. We've recently done we've done a preliminary layout of the sewers. We've gathered a lot of existing conditions information to try to determine the best spot. We also have taken soil borings. So there was a little bit of activity where there was a vehicle out there coring down about 15 to 20 feet down to get a sample of the soils, which helps us select the right route for the sewer. So that's where we're at. We're in the design process, and we're getting ready to, once we finalize that design, have something in front of council to move forward based on a new estimated assessment, cost estimate, and the construction plans and documents.
And that's as far out now as the planning goes, is that correct?
That's where we're at as of today. We don't have any other additional funding for any other future phases. We continue to work with the Board of Health to try to determine the best or most likely fundable project through the regional sewer district process. We're looking at getting that wrapped up here over the next couple of months, working with regional and the county Board of Health.
Thanks.
And how many years would the next project be out potentially?
The one that I just described, or
Well,
the
the one you-
future?
The one off of Shaker, I'm assuming, would be in a year or two.
Yeah.
And then so on the
you're
heel.
probably in a similar pace, assuming we get funded. That it really, a lot of it's based on the funding. And if the
Sure.
funding's not there, it really makes it difficult financially to continue on. So if we do get funded, it's probably, it's about a year to 18 months in the design phase from the day you get the funding usually starts on a January 1.
Mhm.
And then it'll take us, at least that year to put the plans together and then go through the assessment process. So before you actually have, construction underway, you're probably 18 months would be about as aggressive as it gets.
Okay, thanks.
And when would you anticipate the beginning of construction on the phase that you just talked about?
I would say that that's probably a January of 24 would be
January 24?
would be the the likely timing on that?
Thank you very much. I think that answers a lot of questions some people may have. We discuss this frequently in road and infrastructure, but I know not everybody gets that word. So wanted to make sure that since people now are tuned into it, that we make that as visible as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Important points. We had a snow event that went well. Congratulations to the
Little one.
department for handling that well. And
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of salt on the street, but it was just the way that crazy snow was. It kept snowing and snowing and snowing, and then all of a sudden it was just boom, stopped. And so, but I hear there's supposed to be some rain coming, so that'll clean it. But that is indicative to everywhere you go, you'll see salt on a lot of roads because they were, it's just crazy snow. So
okay, I want to welcome Lieutenant Colbert joining us again this week while the chief is out of town. So thanks, Lieutenant, for being here. I don't really have any thing for comments on my own this evening. Council, do you have anything further? Dr. Wong?
I just wanted to thank the service department, Jim and Sheila and yourself for getting the elevator working tonight. And for any resident that doesn't know, if you need a handicapped access, go around to the back of the building. There's 2 spots. And then right next to the building department, there's a white door where the elevator is. You can enter it and go up.
Yes, thank you for pointing out. It's a good reminder for the public. We've had this elevator for, long time, more than 12 years, but it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the doctor had a challenge with it last week, but I'm glad, frankly, that it was you who had the challenge and not a member of our traveling public, because you could handle it better. The elevator is maintained. As I mentioned to you right before the meeting, we get it checked regularly, and it had just been certified a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So it was we're glad that any tweaks to the system have now been rectified. But I'm glad that it was successful to get you up here tonight. Anything else, anyone? Anyone in the audience? Not hearing anything, then we will.
Nothing.
Art, go ahead. Please say your name for show.
Gerard Barnes Savage from 29600 Sugar Boulevard. We came because it wasn't too much on the agenda, so we thought we'd come and say thank you, Mayor, for getting this project under Shaker Boulevard. I got out to meet the guys that were working there, and got out to meet the supervisors. It's just absolutely fascinating project. I mean, this is long overdue. I mean, to see that sewer go down 20 feet in the ground, I mean, it's just amazing that they can do that. And also that the storm sewer's been a disaster. When Bear and I walk up to the park, we're walking through swampland because the storm sewer's over flooding and it's broken, and it's going to really help. In a couple of years, we're going to be really happy that the project is done. So we appreciate you moving on with that project. Also want to thank you, or Dawn Sheehy, for sending out a representative to come up to observe our property and give some good ideas. She came out a couple of times and she emailed me a couple of times, gave me a plan. So we got our ducks in order moving forward on that. So I want to thank you on that. I want to thank the police department. I know it's been a chore because of people going the wrong way. We had one doctor, I was walking down from the mail and almost got killed because he came down the wrong way, he hit the rock pile. And so I know there's more police presence now on Shaker Boulevard, so I appreciate that. And you rearranged the cones and the signs, so I appreciate that. And I want to thank the mayor also for reaching out to our 2 lady neighbors. They really appreciated you actually contacted them. They said they came over the other day, they couldn't believe they got an email from the mayor of Pepper Pike. So, and they, for the record, they are for sidewalks. So, back to sidewalks, I was down for our mail because we have to go to Elford to get our mail. And I met a couple of our neighbors. They said, boy, wouldn't it be nice if we had sidewalks? So I thought it was pretty cool. So, and then I thought it would be kind of neat if, I mentioned to Scott already, that if he could do a video of the project, because it's fascinating to see all the components of the project. And if he could possibly come and do a video and put the camera down 20 feet and talk to a supervisor and video on what's entailed with this whole project. I mean, it's be pretty cool that residents would know. And I was also assigned, I was given the opportunity to be administrator of Friends of Pepper Pike Facebook page, so I kind of share the stuff that the police shares and the city shares. So it's been kind of fun and gives me an opportunity to get to know our neighbors. And that's about it. I just want to thank you again for all you do. And I know you get a lot of complaints, and I've heard some people complaining, but the thing is, it's a good project, and we appreciate you moving on and getting it done and keeping us safe while it's being done.
No, thank you for your comments this evening.
I just want to say that I have been following your Facebook postings and very interesting. You've been doing a nice job of that.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
a nice little source of information. So if anybody doesn't know, why don't you tell them how they can find it on Facebook?
Yeah, you can go online on Facebook and just Friends of Pepper Pike. And once you log on, you put down your address. You mention your street address and your house address, and I will verify that and I'll connect you to the site. There's a lot of nice information out there, and it's a good way to get to know your neighbors in Pepper Pike. It's fun.
Thank you for that site.
Hi, I'm Jean Gascoigne on West Ladderwood, and I just have a question because I saw it spin across my computer, but I'm assuming that there's news about Beach Brook and down at the other end, the country club, and, trees, canopies, that was in the Suncrest. Could you, do you have anything to say to us?
Well, what was reported in the paper was essentially, Gene, what we talked about at last week's meeting.
I was not here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you read Mr. Pierkowski's article, it did a very good job of summarizing, I think, what was said at the meeting. So I think if you've read that article, as you seem to have, I think you're pretty good to go as to what the comments were last week. Of course, the meeting itself is available online, and you can always hear that, but I don't really know that there's more to add than what I've said.
Okay, I did read last week's minutes or whatever. I believe it just said the comments, it didn't say any specific.
Well, the audio is
I'll check
online
with
too.
that. The audio also?
Oh, yeah, you can hear our meetings
Oh,
online.
thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Mayor Barber Savage, 29600 Shaker Boulevard. How are we on the survey for the sidewalks? Is that,
Sure. I'm hoping that the hope was that the survey results would be reported to council this evening. Unfortunately, the report is not completed in a final form. We may even, and I'll alert council to this, I suppose, right now. I want council to hear this as soon as possible, what these results are, because there are planning things that we can do as a result of these results. And I hate waiting till the very end of next month when we finally have another council meeting. I know it's frustrating for everybody, including council, that to have a next step always awaits a full month to slide by. So rather than have our special council session on the third Wednesday of next month, depending on when we get these results back, may ask Sheila to accelerate that on our calendar. We'll keep the council meeting on the fourth Wednesday like we always do, but we may accelerate that first meeting earlier into the month so that, we'll keep it on a Wednesday, thanks for planning purposes, just so that we can get to it. We can get to the business of the city and not defer it, because if we wait till April, end of April, suddenly it's May, and then suddenly we're out of 2023 already. And that's frustrating. So we'll do our best to move this thing along, okay? Anyone else? All right. We stand adjourned. I hope everyone has a great evening.
I did, and I've been actually trying to find.
Any good, like, I could tempt you with anything.
I used to be over here.
I